Hey traders, Parker here with another indicator. Today I've introduced you to my buy, sell volume, relative volume indicator and its average histogram. But for the most part, I wanted to show you this indicator. I haven't seen it floating around on the internet. I've seen a couple of different traders showing it, and basically it's showing you the difference in buying and selling due to the formations of the candle. Mine does as well, but for the most part, you look down here, if the red is greater than the green, then that means that there's more selling on this candle than is buying, and you really can't tell on this one which is higher, whether it's red or green. But for the most part, this is a nifty indicator if you're looking for the difference between buying and selling due to the candle formations. You can see on this candle, this long lower wick is showing you a lot of buyers came in, and this right here is the previous day high, so it's acting as support. This is your total volume for the day. This is the current volume for this bar. This is the previous bar, and this is the pre-market volume. So this is the information that this indicator gives you. But I had created one before. In my opinion, was better. But for the most part, I haven't seen a lot of traders. They use the scalp and do some other things. But I think I can do better, and I believe I did do better. And I wanted to show you my indicator. And this is it: the buy-sell difference, relative volume, and the buy-sell difference average. So let me put those on, and you can see mine is showing you the actual difference instead of you looking at this histogram with this red and green. Forget all that. If buying is greater, then I want to see buying, and I don't care about the selling. This will show you the difference. So this histogram is not actual volume; it's the difference between buying and selling. I go to the advanced one. You can see this is the code for the buying. This is the code that they're using for the buying and selling on each candle. And I didn't use any of their code. I use all of my own. You've been watching my videos, then you know that I basically create my own code. I may get different ideas from people, but I go about it my own way. So, but let me remove theirs, and let's go into my indicator, and let me cut on the actual, let the bars be painted. So going into this is the current bars volume. This is your average. I have mine set for 12. This is your day volume. This is your buy sell volume difference. And you can see it's giving you the difference between buying and selling due to the formations of the candles. This is your average right now. It's green. It's still showing you it's more buying than selling. And that's what you can see down here on average. And this is your relative volume. Relative volume is simply the current volume divided by its average. So looking at that, most traders, when they're using relative volume indicators or relative indicators, they look for they look for indicators above two points above volume, 2 points above volume average is an indication of volatility within a stock. And for the most part, this right now is showing you is zero, so it's not much volatility, and that's really more so there being not much volume going on in this stock. So that's how most traders will use it. So on here, I have my color coded to those numbers. So we actually open it back up. We can go into that, and you can see here. So if volume is above 3 standard deviations, then you get white. Above, and it's bullish, you get white. If it's bearish, then you get yellow. And if it's above 2, you'll get bright green, bright red. You get light green and light pink or salmon for above 1, and below 1, you'll get dark green and dark red. You can paint the bars, change the histogram. Here's 3, 2, 1. Those are the lines that are actually out there. This indicates this is the highest difference between buying and selling, and this is 50% of that. And this is your actual volume. You can come down here. You can change the colors. You can change any of this stuff. So my indicator is fully customizable. But going into it, you can see how mine was a lot more helpful, and because I added this average down here, you can see that there's on average there's still more buying than selling. You can see this arrow pointing to when it got above zero. This arrow right here showing it was below zero. So this is not an indication for you to buy or sell any stock or anything, but this is just showing the volume compared to the candle formations. And right now, you can see that this previous day high is acting as support, and you can see the buyers coming in and buying it up. DNN was added to my range breakout indicator. Let me check out DNN and see what it's doing. It don't look like it has a lot of volume, so we're not gonna look at that. I need to change the parameters for that thing. Well, for the most part, this is the indicator. This is your average right here. I don't have an average here because it just, why would you put an average on relative volume? So, but for the most part, this is your average for the buying and selling. So this right here, averaged out, looks like this on this histogram. So you will get, let me take it to a day back. So for the most part in here, you'll get these arrows pointing when the histogram breaks above zero or goes back down below zero. You can see when it's increasing and when it's decreasing above zero. And you can see when it's increasing and decreasing below zero. And also I put in, this is your average right here. And this is your momentum. So the blue that you're seeing in this, let me push it back. So I actually put in relative momentum, average. Momentum in this as well. So right, you can look right here. It's trading at a 7.5. So that's pretty good. So just like relative volume above 2, then this is trading. It's volatile according to the momentum, but momentum is just the last 12 bars being calculated, and this is just showing you that the on volume is increased, or the volume is increased, and volatility is increased as well. So that's what this relative momentum indicator, and it'll flip back and forth. So anything above 2 will give you yellow. Anything above 1 will give you cyan. Anything below will give you just gray. And this is what we're seeing right now. But if you've been watching my channel, you know I use 12 on my 5 minute. Just because 12 bars on a 5 minute gives you an hour. And that's what you're seeing right now. You can see as it enter in this area, where the S&P actually opened up, and where the previous day high was. That's where you're getting your support area right now. That's where you're seeing these buyers coming in. That's why you're getting these long lower wicks. And you can see right there the candle color just changed just because the close is greater than half of the range of the candle. And that's basically it right there. So if close is greater than half of the range between the high and the low, you'll get a bullish signal. And I mean, it's more buying than selling on that candle. And that's how the formation gives you an indication of buying or selling. And then you just add volume to that. And right now we're on our relative volume indicator right here, relative buy sell volume indicator right now. We're still getting indications of less. There's one right there. We have an indication. Well, we have one. That's one of the reasons why you have to wait for this, because it's using the actual candle formation to give you the indication or give you the information. But for the most part, this is low, but it's entering into one, and you can see with the relative volume with the buy sell difference, it's showing you one, and you can see how it's increasing, and you can see this decreasing. The average actually decreasing over time. So we're going to sit here and watch it for a moment. So these blue lines right here, you can see this is my pre-market high. This is the 78.6 fib. This is your 50. And this is, I didn't mean to go out that far. This is your 21.4 fib. And this is your pre-market low. And right now we're looking at the S&P 500. I expected today to be very volatile, whether it would be to the high side or to the low side. But we're actually looking at the looking at it break down. But I'm really looking for everything to move after this 1 hour, and that's usually when they say everything slows down after this 1 hour, and usually the market picks a direction. So let me look at the futures, and it should be showing me the same thing or something comparably. Oops. So we're seeing the same thing on the futures, and we can see on average there was still more buying than selling in the stock, or at the open anyway. And let's go to NQ, the NASDAQ, and we can see it's basically doing the same thing, just not as dramatic as the futures. So we're looking at this. So where was this? So this open was down here. Its previous high was here. That's where it stopped, and its pre-market. And this is showing you right now. This is just all just low volume or just low moves, low relative moves within the stock right now. And I don't know what the news is. So usually the SPY has better news. But this is dropping pretty hard. So let's see what the news. Market Clubhouse, Jackson Hole. So really everybody's waiting for Thursday and Friday. So I don't see anything there. And I don't think the ES will have too much different. Bank accounts all over the world, small battle. But I just recognize that everything is going to be very volatile for the Fed meeting on Thursday and Friday. But this is the indicator. Let's go to a higher time frame, and I will change the settings for this. So this is where we are for today. And if you watch my sector rotation video, then you see we bounced off this gap area right here, coming from this candle right here. So let me change the parameters for this, or the links that I'm using. On a daily, I use 21. I know a lot of other traders use 21 as well, but my reason for using 21 is I see it. There's only 252 days in the stock market is open. Times that point 25, you get 63, and divided by 63 equals a quarter. So you divide this by 3, and you basically get 21, and that's what you get for the average month, 21 days. But for the most part, that's why I use 21. Other traders have their own reasons for using 21. But looking at it now that I've changed that to 21, you can see on average, on a 21-day period, this is when all your selling started. On average, there's more selling than buying. But the stock is trying to push back above zero. And we can push back, and we're going to follow our arrows. You're going to get some mixed signals on these arrows, but for the most part, you can see how they are do give you an indication of when it breaks above and breaks below. But you can see how these candles will be significant, or the significance of these candles, especially when you get these bright green and bright red candles. But you can see how these candles right here just was just consolidation after this move right here, or you can consider it a flag, and then there's your push up, and you can see how this they responded to this field right here for the 50. And then you just get these bounces up. But for the most part, this is just all low volume or low buy sell volume pushing into here, or low selling into this rally from this point right here. So this is a relative volume buy sell diff relative volume indicator. and that this is the average that goes along with it. And let's look at the pandemic. So this is the pandemic. This is the turnaround after the pandemic, and we can see right here you got this big push right here, and then you got your flag formation after that to another push. This is what we're experiencing here. The sell-off was great, but and you can just see how this the futures just been selling off. One of the things we can see is our momentum to the downside is above one, so you may get a continue. I would look at this as being a continuation to the downside, and you can see how this. And we can see right here, this is the difference between buy and sell on this candle right here. No, this is the average. On average, the difference is 202,000. And we can see on the day that this is pretty much a spinning top, even though we were above the high of the previous day. Now we're considerably low, and I'm kind of expecting the sell off to continue right back down here, or at least back to the previous day's close. 3-day, 5 minute, and let me set these back to 12. So this is the indicator, and like I said, this is the average right here for this indicator of the average buy sell volume difference according to the candle formations. There's no real way of really saying that how much buying and selling is going on in the candle, but through the mathematical formula, through the volume and the candle formation, we can attempt to try and figure out what's going on. And for the most part, that's what this indicator does, and that's what the other guy's indicator does as well. And you can see right now there was more buying and selling, but all they got wiped out, at least on average. So these two indicators will come together, and if you would like these indicators, please just look in the description section, and you can get them there. And if you have any comments or anything, please leave them in the comment section. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe. And I wanted to see one more thing before I ended this video. But this is where all the, on average, where all the buying and selling, where the buying was taken out. And now you have these two right here on average where selling came into play. And now we're getting buying coming back into play. But on average, the stock is down and there's been more selling. So I really like this indicator. It's one of the ones I plan on using probably from here out. And it really did great. And for me, especially using this average, trying to find pullbacks. So I would consider this a pullback, and you see there's not a lot of, even though on average selling was taking place, but you could see where buying came right back into, especially on this candle right here. That you got this long low wick, and you can see the buying through the formations of the candles was greater than selling, and then you got this push above. Even though it wasn't able to sustain it for long, but you still got that push above. So these are these two indicators, and I wanted to show one more thing. Let me increase these days, because it was a day where this just jumped up. It might be right here where you can just see this slow increase in buying on average, and you can see how the stock just pushed above. If you use this indicator, you probably want to use in conjunction with another one. This is my range finder indicator, and this is what it plots out, especially when it found this range. And for me, my range indicator gives me an area to risk off of, and different potential targets. Like you could have risked off this field to this fib right here to the midpoint or to the whole box right there. So let's push it back to the actual day, and we can see UEC is above 4. That's an energy play. We can see how. Let me take the daily one off so we can see this a little better. So we can see how the stock was traded within this range. Let me make this a little. It was traded within this range. It had a couple of breaches below, but it came right back into the range. Then you had this huge breach right here, and it kind of sort of found support right here, and then it breached down below. Then that's when the buying came in right here, and you can see how the histogram is moving up. And you can see where this acted as resistance, but then you had this huge amount of volume come in and buy it up. But it wasn't able to break above this high of this range box right here, and it wound up coming back down. And let's go check out UEC. UEC. I don't know how much volume is on this thing, but this is one of the energy plays I was looking out for. Excuse me. Even though you had this huge drop right here, you had buying just coming back in. And this is how I said you potentially use this as a pullback indicator. This average right here, using it for pullbacks. And you can see right here where you could have potentially got back in right here. And yeah, I was looking for USC to be above $4 PBR. And this is an oil play right here. And you can just see where, it was buying and then it just completely decreased. Same situation here, rig. I think I'm trying to catch this one. It's another energy play, but trying to catch it in the 7s. So XLE was a sector that was on top, but there was the only sector that was doing good. And that's why I say, because you look at the chart and see that compared to the S&P, it looks a lot more healthier, even though the S&P was in this uptrend. And XLV is the healthcare stock, and you see it's still trading within this triangle, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And really, I'm just waiting for it to get tighter and tighter. Potentially, it may come back down here and push back above. So we can go back to this one, and we can see healthcare isn't doing very well. And we can go look at XLF. Financial isn't really doing very well. Dropped out of this box and just ranging right now, or looking for another range to be found. XLB is the material sector. It's not doing a whole lot. XLY is cyclicals, or XLY or consumer staples, consumer discretionary. We already looked at energy. XLU, same thing, selling out today. XLP, consumer staples. XLI, same situation. Precious metals, GLD. Same situation. It's actually coming down to this potential range, potential bounce area from this range, previous range low that hadn't been touched. What's another one? BTC, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up. Not really, but it's better than the rest of the stock. MARA is one of the Bitcoin stocks. Mara, it's doing the same crap, but you can risk off of here to one of these different areas. But on average, it's been more selling than buying. So you might not want to risk that one. Let's see if we can find something that's up. No. is this? BGLC. Have I looked at this one before? Looks awesome over here. I want to say I looked at this one before. AAOI. This is one I definitely looked at before, and you can see how it just. I know I had something set on this stock, and it's still attempting to break above four. No, it is above 14.11, but it's just been ranging. And I think I thought I had something set for it to come back down to 11. And you can see this low of 11.85. But it doesn't have a lot of volume. This was the breakout. I'm calling it a volume breakout. But this is not the same indicator. This is my other relative volume. Anyway, but for the most part, you can see how the volume's just been drifting off. And we go to the weekly. I think this will make me get back into the stock. And I don't know if you want to look at it on a weekly as this being a flag, but these long upper wicks are what's discouraging me from getting into this. And you can just see how volume has just been floating off. But it would have been a nice play today. It is one of the stocks I keep on my watch list, especially when it comes to the technology sector. And I think we did look at XLK. And it had a push, but it's not going anywhere. APL, we can see Apple, same situation. Everything really just goes off after this 1 hour. So I don't think we're looking for the market to pick a direction. It's kind of picked the direction to be down. TSLA. Tesla had a nice move. Tesla had this huge move right here. And buying was but you can see the average, on average, the buying was decreasing. And right now we're below, on this candle, we're still below as well. Buying and selling pressure average is still below. And you can just see where the volume just fell off. What was that? New high day, no, HOLO. You might have had this HOLO. So this is a scanner that I have built on my range finder indicator. It's a breakup, and this stock is breaking out on the day. So that's why you hear that little ring. So this stock breaking out. Overall, it doesn't have a lot of volume in this stock, but today it has a lot of volume, especially compared to the last few bars. So let's go back to this one and let's look at it from this perspective. So let's get rid of my old relative volume and let's put this one on my buy sell one. Let me move that down and let's put this at 21. And yeah, I got it not paying. So overall, here is your big push right here on this day. And you can say this is another push right here. But you can see where it came back down into this area of this candle right here, relative buy sell diff relative volume. And you can see you got another push right here. And it's pushing. So it's showing the same thing on the day as it is on this 5 minute. I don't see any news, and with the it looks like another tech stock. So I don't think I'm gonna mess with it today, especially with the market doing what it's doing. So it found this low, the range box. So let me pull this back off. Range box found this low right here, but on average, it's still more selling than buying. A relative on this stock right here. So I wouldn't mess with it. I would I would just go look for shorts, especially like SQQ with the technology. This is short the Qs. I think it's 3 times ultra short. So I would look for something like this reversing, and you can see how buying is coming in on average. And this is what the Qs look like, and possibly breaking below. So you can see it's exact opposite. And you can look at SPXS as being short the S&P 500, and we want to play that just because of the market volatility. So you want to be able to play both sides. And for the most part, this is how I do it, and especially when I'm expecting the stock market to continue to go down. I would buy one of these and I would just sit in it while the stock market goes down. Another one, UVIX, so UVXY is short the VIX. So, and it's one more. If you short Tesla as well, so you got I think it's TSLS. So this is be the one time short Tesla. So Tesla's up, but with the market, everything can easily just turn back around. And the 3 times S&P short, SPXU. So this is 3 times. You can see the Pro Shares Trust Ultra Short ETF for the S&P 500. And you can see how it's just dancing around, and it's broken all these different ranges and then finally settled on this range, and it's finally support on this range. But it's really according to the SPX, but the SPX doesn't allow volume, or doesn't have any volume. So so let's go back to the futures, and we'll end the video on this right here. So if you haven't, like I said, I want to say thank you again for taking the time out to listen to what I have to say. Just look in the description of the video to get the indicator. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And if you have any comments or suggestions or anything, leave them in the comment section. And thank you again, and God bless, and stay safe out there.